Now though, Cilla Black has a surprise.
Our audience tonight don't know we're watching them, but there are surprises in store for Graham, who's about to meet the brother and sister he never knew existed. Ken and Edith, who are to join in a good old-fashioned knees-up. And Ivor and Mavis, whose story is simply astounding. For these people and more, it's Surprise, Surprise! Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Cilla Black.
Hello and welcome to another surprise. You know, I get some very surprising letters sent to me on this show, and there's one here I must read out. It's from Mrs. Jenny Woods up there in Blackburn in Lancashire. Oh, thanks a lot, look. Yes, it says, Dear Cilla, I'm writing to you on behalf of my two daughters, Kerry, age 10, and Maxine, age 6. Now, they really love your programme, but every week when you sing your song, Maxine complains that you bow at the end of your song instead of curtsying. Why'd you do it? Well, just do, Maxine. But I found out from Debrett's, you know, they're the posh people. They know everything about all the posh people, what they expect them to do and everything. And they say that ladies can bow if it is impossible or inelegant to curtsy. But just for you, Maxine, I'm going to do a curtsy. Can I have a drum roll, please, Alan? Deep breath. Oh, I feel a not flush coming on. I can't get up now, you know. This is the inelegant bit, Maxine. Isn't that inelegant? Yes, and from now on, I'm going to be doing bows, all right? From next week, Maxine, I'm going to be doing all the bows. I'm sorry. But we're going to have a little flashback now. Do you remember Glenys Hayes, who was on our show last week, do you? Yes. Well, a few of you remember. Well, Glenys always wanted to spend a night in an igloo, and we helped her to do just that. We left her last week with our Bob Cowgies, tucking her in for the night. So let's see how she got on. Oh, look at that. Oh, it was a shame. We chose one of the mildest nights of winter to build Glenys her igloo. Because by 8 o'clock the next morning, there was nothing left. Was there? Where are you, Glenys? There was nothing left, was there, Chuck?
No.
But never mind, you did have the Eskimo experience, didn't you, love? Yes. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, really.
Super. Now you can tell everybody, you can give them the cold shoulder. Who said that? Oh, I better move on now. And I'm looking for two people in our audience tonight. Would you come and join me, please? Graham? Where are you, Graham? Yes, Graham, come and join me, please, and bring your lovely wife with you. Stand here, Graham. Stand by me. Oh, sorry. Come over here, Kim. Welcome to Surprise, Surprise. Now, Graham, you're here, aren't you, to make a very personal appeal.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell everybody about you. You see, you were brought up by your auntie and uncle, weren't you?
That's right, yeah.
But really, you thought that they were your mum and dad,
yeah,
didn't you?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until that you were 15 when you wanted to join the army.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to send away for your birth certificate. And that's when you discovered the real story, that Mr. and Mrs. Brown were your auntie and uncle. You also discovered that you had a brother and sister that you've never, ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's when, Kim here, you wrote a letter and told us all about it. And we thought that you should come on the show and make a personal appeal. Well, surprise, surprise, we've had great results from that personal appeal. And your brother and sister are sitting right here in our audience tonight. And I must tell you, Graham, it's as big a surprise for them as it is for you. Come and join us, please. Meet your brother for the first time in your lives. Kenneth Davis and Wilma Geddes. Where are you? Come on, Kenneth and Wilma. Oh, isn't that lovely? What a lovely reunion. And what a nice surprise. Oh, Wilma, have a look in the camera there. You've got a lot to talk about, haven't you? You certainly have. And while I let you chatter on, I think we better get on with the show. I'll see you later, all right? See you all later. Well, now, we've got a very surprising couple sitting here in our audience. Royalty, no less. Yes, a king and queen. Arise, Ken and Edith Foreman. Where are you, loves? Come and join us, your majesties. Don't you look lovely and sit next to your lovely husband? Well, surprise, surprise.
It is, really.
I know I wasn't joking when I said you were royalty, because you are the Pearly king and queen, the unofficial ones of Kent, aren't you?
Well, we like to think so.
Yes, and you've got your Pearly's outfits and everything.
Oh, yes, yes.
And it doesn't bother you that you're the unofficial Pearly king and queen, because you do know that the proper ones, they're born in the, you know, the sound of bow bells and everything. You do know that.
Yes.
But that hasn't bothered you, as I've said, because you've raised thousands of pounds for charity, haven't you?
Oh, yes, we've done quite a lot for charity.
You do a bit of dancing and singing yourselves, don't you?
Well, yes, I suppose we do.
As the Pearly Queen. And what is the Pearly King and Queen's national anthem, what would you say?
I don't really know.
Any London songs? What songs spring to mind?
Lambeth Walk. Lambeth Walk, I should think.
Lambeth Walk.
Yeah, I should think so.
Well, surprise, surprise, you are going to do the Lambeth Walk tonight on the show. Well, how do you feel about doing the Lambeth Walk for us on the show later on?
Oh, I should then love it.
Yes.
It'd be lovely.
And don't worry about the outfits, because we've smuggled your Pearly outfits in as well.
Eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're not going to do it like this?
No.
Oh, no, you're going to get dressed up in your Pearly outfits.
Oh, that's marvellous.
And surprise, surprise, you're not going to do it on your own. Oh, no. We've got 26 real Pearlies to do it with.
Really?
Yes, isn't that lovely? Are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it, Mike.
Now, would it be so rude to ask you your age?
My age?
Yes, dear.
83.
And of course you married a much, much older man, didn't you, Edith?
I did, yes.
Yes, you did. Well, we look forward to seeing you both later on.
I shall be 80 in July.
You'll be 80 in July, isn't that lovely? Oh, congratulations. Well, we'll see you later on doing the Lambeth Walk in all your togs and everything.
I hope so.
I hope so, too. In the meantime, it's time to find out where our Bob Cowgies is this week. I wonder what he's been up to. Where are you, Bob?
I'm here amongst the stands of London's new Covent Garden Market, surrounded, as you can see, by all this beautiful fruit and veg. To surprise a chap who knows a lot about this sort of stuff, because he runs his own fruit and veg stall up in Lancaster. He thinks he's been invited down here for a New Year's lunch with his friend. Lunch is off. We're going to train him up for something much more important. I've just heard that he's on his way, so I'm going to hide myself amongst the Satsumas. Oh, look, it's... Mark! Mark through?
Yeah.
Oh, hello. How are you? All right. Surprise, surprise. How you doing? You've come down here for a nice slap-up beer with your mate here, Brian, haven't you?
I thought I had, anyway.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Actually, your wife, Sue, wrote and told us all about you, she did.
Did she?
And she said that although you now run a successful fruit and veg business of your own, You've always had a burning ambition to have a totally different job, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
What was that?
A fireman.
You've always wanted to be a fireman,
Yeah.
but firemen have to be 5'6", and
That's
you're
quite
how
right.
tall are you?
Half an inch short.
Half an inch too short. Well, we thought that's no good. We can't have that. We've got to do something about it. So, we got in touch with London Fire Brigade, and they very kindly agreed for you to be their guest for the day down at Lewisham Fire Station. So that's where we're going right now. Excuse me, Brian, because I've got your helmet here. All right. So there's your helmet. And you're going to be a fireman for the day with special permission from the London Fire Service. All right. So we're going there right now. Do you want an apple?
No, thanks.
All right, I've got one.
Bill Watch, shake. What's your names? Linford Bedwell. I'm Blackwell. I'm Davis. I'm Hawkins. I'm Rowe. I'm Sergeant. I'm Steggs. I'm Thompson. I'm Thorogood. I'm Drew.
Sir.
All right. Station Officer McKeown now.
Good evening, Bob.
Nice to see you.
Who have we got here?
Temporary fireman for the night, that's Mark Drew.
Mark Drew. Do your buttons up, Mark. You're going to be a fireman, you're going to get here on time in future.
Sorry, sir.
Speed it up now.
There we are, bit of work to do on him, I
Bring
think.
yourself a teacher legs, stiffen up.
Yes.
That's more like it.
You'll soon get knocked into shape, don't worry. Still, as I say, a lot of work to do here, Cilla, with Mark, but it's not easy being a fireman, you know. Oh, what was that bell? Oh, we're all right, it's only the phone. Come back to us later and we'll see what happens. We'll see how Mark's training goes. You looking forward to it?
I am, yes.
Good. So am I.
Thanks, Bob. And you know, Bob, you're not the only one who's been surprising people this week. Oh, no. We received a letter from a lady telling us that her fella David Owen was kinky about big, flashy American cars. So we lured him to a London hotel from his home in Welsh Wales, and it was there that I surprised him. David Owen? Surprise, surprise! Oh, yes. I'm going to have to bleep that one out. Surprise, surprise, David. Now, you don't know why I'm here, do you, Chuck? You're Joyce who wrote and told me about this burning passion that you've got about cars. These dirty big American flashy jobs, is that right?
Sure, yeah.
And you're a bally. Yes, you clean cars and you polish and do them all up.
Yeah.
And while you're polishing, she told me all this in a letter, that you have this burning desire to drive one of these supercars.
Yes, I do that. Lovely.
Well, today you are going to drive one of those supercars, all right? It's a ruh-ruh.
A ruh-ruh.
You know what a ruh-ruh is?
No.
Come on, Joyce. but please don't go away because we'll be back with lots more surprises in a couple of minutes. I'll see you then. Welcome back. Well, let's catch up on our Bob and see how he and Mark are getting on at the fire station. Are you there, Bob? Oh, you are there.
Oh, we're having a nice cup of tea, a big mug of tea. Look at that. You don't see those very often, do you, Cilla? Yes, it's actually all been going very, very well. The Blue Watch here have trained Mark up, and they put him through a certain training exercise, didn't they, Mark?
They certainly did this afternoon.
Have you been enjoying it?
Definitely, yeah, it's great.
I think actually, to see how much he has enjoyed it, you should see the training exercise. This is what happened not that long ago. Somebody's on the fourth floor, so that's why they're rushing Mark across to the platform, so he's going to effect the rescue, is he?
That's right, Bob. He's going to go up on that hydraulic platform to about 50 feet high.
Well, of course, what Mark actually doesn't know is that he thinks his wife Sue is still at home in Lancaster, and we've kept her very well hidden, and in fact she is the one he's going to rescue from the fourth floor, so I can't wait to see his face when he gets up there. It'll be interesting to see exactly when he spots his wife coming out from inside the tower, and what he says.
Well, you got give her a kiss, son.
How on earth have you got here?
Oh, very nice. He told me he was going to kill her earlier on. Yeah. Well, he gave her a kiss instead. I thought that was a bit of a shock for you, wasn't it?
It was too much after the first one today, anyway.
Mark, your wife said that you were shaking there. Were you shaking because were you a bit worried going up there, seeing the wife?
Seeing the wife, yeah. It's the last thing I expected. Yeah.
Have you made a few mates there today? I can see you've got some very good-looking chaps there, Bob.
They're so huge. Would you like one of these, sir? I'll bring you one of these.
No, I'd
huge
rather have
butties.
one of the fellas there. Actually, Bob, I must say, introduce me to a few because you
Well,
never dying to meet them.
I don't know all the names. This is Derek, isn't it?
Hi, Derek.
Dennis.
Oh, Dennis.
Hello, Cilla.
Dennis. Now, I must say, Dennis, we've had lots of letters here at Surprise, Surprise from women. They're all dead keen on firemen.
All right? Yes. So are we, Cilla.
Dennis, they're all desperate to have a fireman's lift.
I'd love to have a woman on my back, Cilla.
I mean, what's so special about a fireman's lift? Do you think these women are desperate to be rescued, or they just want to, you know, go on your back?
I think they want to be on our back, Cilla, yeah.
They do. So we arranged for a fireman's lift, Dennis. Would you give them one?
I'd love to. I'd love to give
I knew that was coming. We've had this all day.
But I mean, it's lovely to see you all there, and we all think that you do a marvellous job. I know, joking aside, fellas, keep up the good work, and I hope you don't get that emergency call tonight. But I know Mark hopes you will. I'll see you later, Bob, all right?
Cheers, Cilla.
Well, we will come back later on the show to see, well, to find out if they've set any bells ringing. But right now, it's time to find out what surprises our lovely Gordon Burns has for us on Searchline. Over to you, Gordon. You can ring my bell anytime.
Thank you. Later. Hello and welcome to Searchline with the great news that we start this week with an almost 100% record. We found every single person we were looking for in the last show, bar one. But we've got a good lead on that. So thanks for your tremendous support, and let's see if we can go one better this week. Now, do you remember the sounds of the 60s? Well, most people remember the Mersey Sun from the early 60s, and especially a hat-check girl called Priscilla White, who worked at the...
Hang on a minute, Gordon. Did I hear you say hat-check girl?
It's quite hard to say, yes. Hat-check girl, yes.
Hat-check girl. Now, have you ever heard of an hat-check girl in Liverpool? Nobody wore hats in Liverpool.
Well, what did you do then?
I worked in the cloakroom. I love cloaks. But what about you? I mean, you are a product of the 60s as well. You must have a little photo hidden away. I'd love to... Go on, show them that photo. Go on, give us a laugh.
Young, handsome, debonair, that sort of look? See for yourselves.
Well, we've already seen it. What do you think the laughing was all about? You looked a little cherub. Lovely.
Well, I think you've worn better than I have.
Well, I've worn. I don't know whether it's better.
Anyway, it's not about how you and I looked in the 60s. What I want to ask people at home is whether they remember these people known as the Pride of Sunderland. The band was called Chris Warren and the Strangers. In 1964, they won the top-ranked Talent of Tomorrow trophy in Brighton. That proved to be ill-fated as the band split up shortly afterwards. John Ross, the bass guitarist, and that's him right in the middle, is trying to find the rest of them. And they are Lol Marley, Bob Marshall, Tom Lowes and Chris Warren himself. So if any of you are out there, give us a call on the searchline number, which I'll give to you later on. And still on a musical note, here's the first of this evening's personal appeals.
Hello, my name's Bernard Juby. Way back in 1955, at the University of Birmingham, we formed a skiffle group called the Auricular Fibrillators. That loosely translates as heart flutters. I'm looking for the fellow members of that group. We used to play regularly on Saturdays at the Students' Union and the Hops. I'm looking for Dave Smallbone, who was the singer, for Sprog, who played on the T-chest bass, and our guitarist, whose name I'm afraid I've forgotten. If you know where the auricular fibrillators are, would you please phone in?
Well, if anyone can help Dr. Juby reform his skiffle group, then ring Searchline. The next call is for Sylvia Nill. She's the niece of George and Dinky Nill, who live in Ilfracombe in North Devon. They last saw Sylvia over 30 years ago when she came to stay with them. And here she is, the taller girl on the left, outside their house, with George and Dinky's daughter, Marie. Sylvia was living in Portslade in Sussex with her mother when her aunt and uncle lost touch. They would both love to see her again, so if you're watching, Sylvia, do give us a ring. Now, talk about a surprise. Dennis Baker from Bridgewater in Somerset had the surprise of his life recently when out of the blue he discovered he had a younger sister he knew nothing about. Well, naturally, he's now desperate to find her. So can you help? She's called Catherine and was born on the 12th of February 1960 in Bridgewater. So if anyone knows her, or better still, if you're watching Catherine, get in touch with us and we'll put you in contact with your brother Dennis. And finally, in this section, here's a call for 3 radar operators in the ATS between 1941 and 45. Here they are, Tina Brealey, Eileen Billy Breeze and Kath. Eileen Billings is looking for them and last saw them when they served together in Lowestoft, Hull and Nottingham. And she'd love to know what's happened to them. So give us a blip on the Searchline number and you can scan it now, 01 222 8070. Okay, I'll be back later in the programme with more Searchline requests, but in the meantime, back to Cilla.
Thanks a lot, Gordon. We shall see you later. In the meantime, I am going to make a phone call now. And look at this. What a phone this is. Isn't this lovely? Yes, it's Bozo the Clown. And just wait till you hear it ring. Give us a buzz, fellas, could you? And it won't shut up till I do this. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that gorgeous? Well, I'm going to surprise now a Rosemary Peters. Now, her mum wrote and told us that Rosemary has got this, she's got this urge to be part of a knife-throwing act. And she wants to have knives chucked at her. Can you imagine that? Yes, well, I'm going to phone her up now. It's a long number. It's 10 digits. But look at this. You'll never guess where I've got to speak into. The back of their heads, but this is ridiculous. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I don't know how to do. I better ring first, hadn't I? Here we go. I must also tell you that Rosemary's mother's name is Cilla. And she always starts, when she phones her daughter, Rosemary, she says, "Surprise, surprise, it's Cilla here." So it should be quite interesting when I speak to her tonight, if it ever rings out. Oh, dear. It's cleared the sinuses. Oh, yes.
Hello?
Hello, can I speak to Rosemary, please?
Yes, this is Rosemary.
Well, surprise, surprise, it's Cilla here.
Cilla, is that Mum?
I beg your pardon, Rosemary. No, it's Cilla. It's the real Cilla in the flesh.
Cilla?
Well, it's not your Cilla mother. It's Cilla. Cilla Black from Surprise Surprise.
Oh, God, no.
What do you mean, what do I want?
What?
I want to chat to you about this urge that you've got, Rosemary.
Oh.
Now, your mother, Cilla, wrote to me all and told me all about you.
Yeah.
She says that you have got this urge to have knives thrown at you. Is that right?
Yep.
Why?
It's just one of the things that I've always wanted to have done to me.
You want to stand there
Yeah.
and have somebody chuck knives at you?
Yeah.
Aren't you a bit frightened, you know?
Yeah.
One of them might miss. Now, if you could have any knife thrower to throw knives at you, who would you have?
I don't even know famous knife thrower.
Well, don't worry, because we have found you an extra special one, all right?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yes.
I hope it's nice.
Oh, he's wonderful.
You're running up to blind date.
Don't worry about that. We have got a very, very special knife thrower for you. In fact, he'd be wonderful once he's had his glasses repaired. Will you come on the show next week then, Rosemary?
Yeah, you can borrow my glasses.
You wear glasses, do you? Now tell me, what are you going to say to your mother the next time you see her?
I'm going to kill her. I'm going to ring her up and kill her.
Well, don't go in prison before next week, because we want you on the show. All right, Rosemary?
How do I get to know?
What do you mean?
How do I get there in this
We'll pay. Don't worry, Rosemary, all is in hand. As we speak, when I put the phone... Because can you hear our audience here?
Yes, I can hear everybody laughing.
Yes. Because you're live on the telly now, you see.
God.
So don't worry about it. As soon as I put my phone down, and you'll never guess what I'm talking into, Rosemary.
No, I won't.
Well, I'm talking into a clown's bum. He doesn't feel a thing, it's all right. It's one of it's one of my specialty phones, Rosemary.
Oh.
Is it? Yes, it is. Well, I'll see you next week, Rosemary, all right?
Right, then. Bye.
And don't worry, we'll make all the arrangements. Everything's taken care of.
Right.
Even the cosy as well. See you next week, Chuck.
Bye.
Ta-ra then, Rosemary. Ta-ra.
Bye.
Well, it's time to take another break before we have a knees up from our Pearly King and Queen, and to meet a man who has cause to remember the '87 hurricane. So see you in a couple of minutes. Hello and welcome back. Now, in October 1987, we had the worst hurricane Britain's ever seen. Centuries of English trees were uprooted, and the countryside was absolutely devastated. Now, many people since have worked hard to repair the damage, and none has worked harder than Alex MacRoberts, whose life has been devoted to keeping the 130 acres of Langley Park in Buckinghamshire a place of beauty for residents and visitors alike. Well, Alex has just retired after many years of work, and to mark his retirement, I went along to surprise him on his last day. Here I am in Langley Country Park in beautiful, beautiful Buckinghamshire. Now, I'm sure you must all remember that dreadful hurricane that we had. Well, I have to tell you, this park was absolutely devastated by it. But due to the hard work and dedication of the head gardener, it's been restored back to its former glory. Well, I'm just about to surprise the head gardener right now, Alex MacRoberts, and I do believe he's in his shed over there. So let's go and find him. Do I knock first or what? Alex! Alex MacRoberts! Surprise, surprise! Alex, surprise, surprise!
Surprise!
I'm surprised too. Oh, that hurt me, Alex. You've got an heavy door there.
Me there and all, I felt it.
How long have you been working at the park?
Oh, 17 years, yes.
Do you remember that horrible hurricane that we had,
Yes,
Alex?
yeah, I've just cleaned up after it.
And it was all, you've just cleaned up.
Yeah.
Cleaned
Just
up, he
about.
says. You did more than clean up, Alex. I mean, this place was devastated. You've replanted trees, yes?
Yeah.
You even rebuilt the fences.
Yeah.
Yes. You even built a kissing gate.
I thought too.
You really did. Well, for all your lovely work, your colleagues love you. And they thought that you deserve a Cilla grant for surprise, surprise.
Oh, surprised. I'm all good.
You're all going? Would you like to spend the day with me?
Oh, yes, certainly.
Come on, Chuck. Onwards, upwards, over there. He's busy doing nothing, working the whole day through, trying to find lots of things not to do. He's busy going nowhere, isn't it just a crime? He'd like to be unhappy, but he never does half the time. Well, he has to watch the river to see that it doesn't stop, and stick around the rosebuds so they'll know when to pop, and keep the crickets cheerful. They're really a solemn bunch. Hustle, bustle, and only an hour for lunch. He's busy doing nothing, working the whole day through, trying to find lots of things not to do. He's busy going nowhere, isn't it just a crime? He'd like to be unhappy, but he never does have the time. He has to wake the sun up, he's liable to sleep all day, and then inspect the rainbows so they'll be bright and gay, and must rehearse the songbirds to see that they sing in key. Hustle, bustle, and never a moment free. He's busy doing nothing, working the whole day through. He's trying to find lots of things not to do. He's busy going nowhere, isn't it just a crime? He'd like to be unhappy, but he never does have, never does have, never does have, never does have, he never does have the time. Alex, I enjoyed myself that day. Did you?
enjoyed it too, yeah.
Did you enjoy it, Mary, too? It was a wonderful time, wasn't it? Well, I've got another little surprise for you. I won't beat about the bush. I've got another little surprise for you, and it's because of your family writing and telling me all about this. Can you cast your mind back 20 years ago, over 20 years ago? You were coming home from a European football match in Glasgow, in your car, and you had a car crash. Now, you escaped, you were thrown clear, but you had some mates in that car, and you were very brave, Alex. You went back to that car, and you dragged a certain person, well, 3 persons out of that car, and one person in particular, he's been waiting to thank you for over 20 years, because just soon after you saved him, the whole car went up in flames. Do you remember that?
No.
Well, as I say, he's been waiting for 20 years to thank you, and he's here tonight. Ian Banks. Come in, Ian. You've never met Mary, have you?
Nice to see you.
Oh, isn't that lovely? They've never met. To have a sit down there. Now, that fateful night, do you remember that night, Alex?
Yeah.
The car crash, and... But for you, he wouldn't be here today, would he?
No, it's
And it's
something
all...
anybody would do it, like, you know.
Well, I
I'd
don't...
say, yeah.
Well, what are you trying to say anybody would do it?
Yes.
We think he's very brave, don't you, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. And I'm sure you and Ian have got lots to talk about. I'm sure you're going to talk about that after the show. And you can shout at me as well when we have a drink.
Yeah.
You will. In the real time, while you're having a natter, we're going to have a knees up. We're going to have a knees up with our Kenneth and Edith. And they're about to go for a Lambeth walk. And to help them, we've got some genuine Cockney Pearly kings and queens. So, let's go down the Lambeth way.
did very. Finest night of my life.
It's what?
Finest night of my life.
That's nice. That's really good. Well, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you both, Edith and Ken. And also, I don't think we could have done without it. We couldn't have done it without the Pearly Kings and Queens,
No,
could
it's
we?
a fact.
Well done, lads and lasses all. You've done a grand job. Get your best on. See you later. See you later. Well, now, I've got an absolutely smashing surprise for two lovely people sitting somewhere in our audience tonight. Yes. Yes, surprise, surprise. It's you, Ivor and Mavis Dartnall-Smith. Surprise, surprise. I must tell everybody about you. I must. Can I just a minute? Now, Ivor and Mavis are members of the Salvation Army, and they have devoted their whole lives to helping others. They fostered children, worked in a hospital for leprosy patients, and so many other things, as well as raising a family of their own. Now, one of the daughters, Miriam, wrote us to say that the family thought their parents deserved a Cilla grant. Well, Ivor and Mavis, you know, we thought that you deserved so much more, because when she wrote me that letter, I thought the story was absolutely lovely. And we think we should tell it here on Surprise, Surprise tonight. But I think you should both get over the shock first. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go over to our Gordon and the searchlight, all right?
Thank you. Now, here's a story about swallows and grenadier guards. In 1957, Derek Smith was a grenadier stationed at regimental headquarters in London, and he's looking for 4 fellow guardsmen: Brian Standridge, Bill Bradford, Patrick Mac McGlynn, and Brian Nymphy Shepherd. The 5 of them all used to work as extras in big productions at the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden to add to their army pay. A lot of grenadiers did. And our heroes appeared in Aida, the Meistersingers, and Carmen, to name but a few. But what about the swallows, I hear you ask? Well, one night when they went on stage, the 5 of them went to Piccadilly Circus, where they each had a swallow tattooed on their arm and promised to stay in touch forever. So if Brian, Bill, Mac and Nymphy are out there, or indeed anyone else sporting a swallow tattoo, could they swoop to the nearest phone and ring Searchline?
I'm sorry, Gordon, I've got to interrupt you. And I've had an urgent message, you see, because, you know, Bob and Mark and the lads at the fire station, I must tell you, they've all been called out on a 999 emergency call, so we're going to have a look at them.
Right, we've just had a call here, Cilla, this isn't it? It's a genuine situation. Mark is on board. He managed to get on board with the fire crew. We're following on in a fire support car. I don't know where we're going at all. I'm not even sure if the driver does. He's just, I think, following the fire engine.
We're going to Hither Green Hospital.
Which hospital?
Hither Green.
Hither Green Hospital we're going to. If that lorry ever gets out of the way. Do we know anything about the situation?
It's an automatic fire alarm which is operated in the laundry.
We'll jump out and see what's happening. You still going?
Still going.
Right, we'll follow in. They've gone in here and we'll see. I'm not going to get in the way, that's the first thing.
M2 Echo 211, status 4, over.
Go on, Mark, we'll go and find out what it's all about.
What I'm looking for, I'm looking at striking glass first. See if someone's striking the glass insurance. But we've got a full search of the premises being made at the moment.
Yeah. So, they're searching the premises, so no one knows exactly what's happening. Oh, here he is. John, you went off to search the building. What's
Yeah.
the situation?
There's an automatic fire alarm going off, which it's triggered, or supposedly triggered by a fire. Now and again they go wrong, technical faults. It's what we thought's gone wrong here, but we're checking it out now.
So fortunately it's not a fire?
It's not a fire, fortunately, but this particular place here, the Green Hospital, was the scene of a very serious fire a number of years ago, so we can't take any chances.
So there you are. Anyway, we've had the experience of a real ride in there.
Real ride in the fire.
Well, this is Bob Carroll G's with Blue Watch from Lewisham Fire Station in action, reporting back to the studio, Cilla at Surprise Surprise.
Thanks a lot, Bob. A very big thanks to Mark too, and what can I say? A very, very big thanks to all the firemen there. Well, now it's over to you, Gordon. Well, where were you, Chuck, before I so rudely interrupted you?
That was very exciting. Well, I was just about to get on a motorbike, I think, so we'll carry on from there. Because we want to know if anyone recognises this motorbike. 25 years ago, it belonged to Leslie and Marion Grimes, who now live in Shropshire. They've fond memories of those days and are keen to find out what has happened to the bike since they sold it to Doodie's Garage in Shrewsbury. So if anyone remembers owning a 1955 350 AJS motorbike, registration number MAW869, please contact us. Now, this is a call for Betty Gething, who used to go dancing at the Coliseum Ballroom in Bearwood in the Black Country in the early 50s. Here's a photograph of Betty, which was sent in by her friend Joan Clothes. They used to work together in Smethwick, and Joan knows that Betty later joined the Women's Royal Air Force and married. In fact, Joan did receive a picture of Betty's baby, but unfortunately that photo's gone AWOL. And Joan is very keen to find Betty again, so if you're watching Betty, please contact Searchline. Finally, if you're a granny and should have received this book for Christmas, and not even last Christmas, but the one before, and didn't, well, here it is. It broke out of its parcel in the post office, was accidentally included in another parcel being repackaged, and eventually ended up being delivered to a bewildered Pauline Foster in Dublin. Now, the gift tag here says, "To Granny, Happy Christmas from James, Linda, Alex and Katie, who all live in Wolverhampton." So, grandchildren or Granny, get in touch and we'll deliver this belated Christmas present. Please contact us on the Searchline number, which is 01222 8070. As always, our researchers will be answering the telephones until 10 o'clock tonight. Or you can write to us at Searchline, Surprise Surprise, London Weekend Television, South Bank TV Centre, London, SE99 6YW. That's it for this week. I'll be back with you next Friday. Till then, goodbye. Back we go to Cilla.
Thanks a lot, Gordon. Well, and welcome back, Ivor and Mavis. Now, I've got a marvellous tribute to pay to you, a marvellous story, actually. Your story is one of great faith and great courage. And in fact, it is a super love story that started over 40 years ago, because you two, in fact, met when you were just teenagers. How old are you? You were 14?
14.
Mavis, and you were just 16.
Yes.
And you courted for 4 years, and then you married at Brighton Registry Office, is that right?
Yes,
We've got
yes.
a lovely
Yes.
photograph of you both. Look at that. Don't you look super? Mavis, I must say, you haven't changed a bit. You look gorgeous. In fact, you look better. Now, you settled down to married life in Weymouth, is that right?
Yes.
And you were a bricklayer, weren't
Yes,
you, Ivor?
correct.
And you were a nurse, Mavis. And then you, of course, you had your children. In fact, you used to take all your children to Weymouth Beach on a Sunday. And that's where they used to attend the Salvation Army Sunday School classes.
That's right.
That's
Yes.
right, isn't
Yes.
it? Well, I know all this because, as I said earlier, your Miriam wrote me a super letter about you. In fact, your Miriam is here tonight with your granddaughter, Melanie. Come in, Miriam and Melanie. Come on, Miriam. Isn't she beautiful? Look at that.
You scallywag. Isn't your mum a scallywag?
A scallywag, he's calling her. Isn't your mum a scallywag? Have a sit down, Miriam and Melanie. Well, it's because of your lovely children, your Miriam, and you've got 5 others, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes. Because of your children, you got involved yourselves in the Salvation Army.
Yes.
More than involved. In fact, you joined the Salvation Army and you became officers, isn't that right? Well, you've done some marvellous work. In 1975, you went to India, where you served, you both served as missionaries. And you worked in a leprosy hospital. And we think that's absolutely wonderful, taking care of all those people and their parents. In fact, you made hundreds of friends, lots of friends. And there was one little girl in particular that you made friends with. In fact, she came to you as a baby. Her mother came to your door. Naomi, yes. And her mother couldn't look after her, so you took her in. Well, unfortunately, Naomi can't be with us tonight, but she has sent from 5,000 miles away this lovely letter, and it's addressed to you. And look how she's spelt, to Mummy and Daddy with one D.
Oh, bless her.
Isn't that lovely? And she's turned out lovely, you know. She's 11 years old now, and she's living in Madras in the Salvation's Children's Home.
Yes.
And here's a lovely photograph of her over here, if you look. Look, that's how she is today. Doesn't she look lovely?
Yes, yes.
There was also another youngster. Can you remember the other youngster that he was only 5 and he turned up? He knocked on your door, and he had begged his way 100 miles. She said it already. It was little Raju, and he was only 5 then. And on his own, he begged his way all the way over.
Right across India.
Yes. And you wanted him to come back with you to England, didn't you?
Raju.
Yes, but he wasn't allowed to. But Raju is lovely, and he's 19 now. He was adopted by an American family called the Landows.
That's right.
Yes.
And he loved you so much, so much. And in honour of you, he's actually changed his name. He's now called Raju Smith Landau. Now, you know where he lives. He's in America.
Yes.
Well, surprise, surprise, he's not there tonight. He's here to say hello to that little boy. He's 19 now. Come in, Raju. Say hello to Ira and David. Look at that. All right. Say hello to Raju. Hi, Raju. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful to see you a couple of days ago.
The more the world is changing, the more it stays the same. Life is full of small surprises. It's a never-ending game. If nothing is impossible, will you believe your eyes? If the unexpected brings a smile, that's a big surprise, surprise, surprise. The unexpected hits you between the eyes. The unpredictable, that's the surprise you see. Surprise, surprise.
Well, that's it for another week. I'd like to thank everybody who's taken part in tonight's show, especially Gordon Burns and our Bob Carroll G's. We'll be back next week with lots more surprises, so until then, ta-ra then, ta-ra!
Due to extended coverage of Bob and Mark's visit to the fire station, the item in which characters fly back to the 40s as advertised in TV Times will be shown later in the series.